That's one of my favourite passages in the whole of St. Luke's Gospel. What might we have expected that son to have had as his reception when he went home after wasting half his father's money? Might he have expected his father to have rushed out and said, "Don't you think you're coming back into this house until we sort out how you earn that money back and repay it to me? We've got to get this sorted out because you wasted an awful lot of money. You've been very, very irresponsible. So you've got to sort that out." But the father doesn't do that at all. He's been watching for the son because he's missing him terribly. And when he sees him a long way off, he rushes out and he hugs and kisses him and he throws a great party. He hardly gives the son a chance to apologize at all. Well, in this story, Jesus is actually talking about his Father and how God, our Father, wants to forgive us. He wants us always to recognize our faults and to come back, and in sorrow, the most important thing is that we learn from our mistakes and we're wiser for what's gone wrong in our lives. There are very important lessons here about forgiveness, but particularly about the generosity of God's forgiveness for each one of us, because we all make mistakes and we get things wrong, don't we? So I think there are some important questions that we might ask ourselves. The first one: how good am I at actually seeing the mistakes and the things that I get wrong in my life? Do I stop and think about what I've got wrong? Let's think about that. And when I realise that I have got something wrong, do I think about asking for forgiveness and apologising, either for the person that I've wronged or from God himself? The third thing we might consider is, do I learn from my mistakes? Because I certainly make them. And if I can learn from them, I'll be a better person because I've made those mistakes. But I'm wiser now because I've seen what those mistakes were and how I got things wrong. And finally, when I read that gospel passage, am I really understanding how loving, kind and generous God is when he longs to forgive us for whenever we've got anything wrong? Lots to think about in that gospel passage.